Hi, I'm Victoria Robles.
Hey, I'm Mark Williams.
Hey, I'm Nicky Lazos.
I'm Bryan Hill.
Hi, I'm Lauren Rejent.
And I'm Dana DeVestern.
And
this is a crash conversation.
Yep.
All right, Vic, take it away.
Oh.
That's the name we're going with, guys.
Originally we wanted it to be Crash Convos, but
There's a coin toss.
The divine,
a coin toss. It was a coin toss.
the divine being decided otherwise.
Yeah.
Okay?
So let us know in the comments which
Williams
one you
Way
think
did
is
not
better.
make it,
Anyway, so today we're going to be
will return.
we're going to be talking about topics that have to deal with America, and because Independence Day is right around the corner, we originally wanted to do a more comedy type sketch, but we thought this was better in terms of what's going on, what happened last year and what's going on this year, and we just thought it would be a better fit to do this. So I think our first topic of discussion is protesting, where right when the pandemic hit around March, George Floyd, what happened? I can't speak. What happened to George Floyd? It caused a rampage around the world, and it started protests, and people started wondering as to whether or not they wanted to support George Floyd in these protests but couldn't because of the pandemic, or they didn't care otherwise. So now we're here to talk about it, and what are your thoughts, crash content, on protesting?
Well, my thoughts are
Mark Williams.
Mark Williams, being here. I'll start it off. My opinion is I think what really started this whole thing is because the social media and like how it took off. I think and just how it had everyone literally paying attention for the first time, because this has been going on for years, but people just don't realize it. So I think for the first time, everyone being at home, not doing anything.
People finally saw.
Yeah, finally could see like what is really.
And you're speaking
on.
about the Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah,
that's been around.
It's been around
because it's been around, but people hasn't really brought to anyone's attention up until the pandemic, because no one else had anything to do but look on social media, and because George Floyd's murder happened around the time where everyone was on social media, it caused so much controversy.
Which is interesting because, that begs the question: is social media more effective for handling these things than even, say, the protests themselves? Or on the flip side, we had this whole Blackout Tuesday thing, I think it was. Remember that? Where everybody posted a black screen, which I did, but personally I don't know if it helps. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
One thing that this isn't about the Blackout Tuesday thing, but one thing that I did notice on that day was a lot of people were posting links to like YouTube videos that were like, if you watch it and they're monetized, then it like sends the money to like Black Lives Matter organizations and stuff. So in that sense, I thought that was really helpful, and I think that social media definitely made a difference in that way.
Because to be quite honest with you, I did the Blackout Tuesday thing too. And like Lauren said, that is a very specific way of helping out those organizations. But posting a black, like a photo of just a black screen, did that really push anything? I know it spread awareness.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people were like, okay, my work is done. Bye.
Right.
Because I posted a picture of a black screen.
Yeah, and I feel like I remember there were a lot of people that actually argued that it went against the cause, because it was like, okay, now instead of actually informing people with information with what's going on in the world right now that can help people understand how messed up it is, let's just put black screens so that these people who maybe are kind of on the fence about the protests, or don't really know what to think, or see Black Lives Matter as one thing, or don't entirely support it, are just like, oh, now they're just posting black screens, what is this, I'm tired of this, and just leave. Like they're not getting any knowledge, it's not changing anything. All it really is doing is just kind of shutting down their source of entertainment, I guess, media-wise. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't educational.
All right. Now we're going to talk about police brutality. And Vic, you want to take us away on
What the heck? All right, police brutality. Cops hitting other people. Is it right?
Okay.
No! Cops shooting other people.
Stop. Okay, and now we're changing topics a little bit here. It's kind of a lead-in. Speaking on the effectiveness of what the social media did, it did show us that there is still a lot of police brutality, even after George Floyd, and I think it's opened our eyes. Like I know, Mark, you were saying, like, this was happening for the longest time, but now people are realizing it.
Yeah, like you hear stories all the time. I feel it's just cops, like, they just have to not so aggressive. Like, it's passive aggressive. Like, they just, like, recently one story I heard was one, what was that girl, she was, they was in a fight or something, and some cop came and just shot, like, a 15-year-old girl just shot, like, they're fighting, and she just shot her. Like, he didn't have to use a gun. Like, it's just two 15-year-old girls. Like, what's she gonna do? Like, a 15-year-old girl, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, go
ahead.
I was just gonna say, because like when we were talking about protests, you know, it's like it was starting off as peaceful protests, but then it turned into something more when the cops started getting involved, and it was especially focused around people of color, you know. So it's like it seems as if people were to be storming the Capitol, rather, police weren't really doing much in terms of brutality.
Right.
But when it comes to marching for George Floyd or any other type of Black Lives Matter movement, suddenly people are getting shot at.
Right.
People are getting put down, you know, and things like that. So, you know, along with that topic, Mark, it's like with all those stories that you're hearing as a Black man, like, how do you feel about that?
Well, I will say this. It's funny because I'm sure you probably, like, you or Nicky, like, has your dad ever talked to you about what to do when the cop pulls you over?
Yes.
No.
What?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, and then maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but my dad thinks he's above the law. I mean, like, and that literally has nothing to do with him being white or anything. It has to do with him being just really, really Greek and foreign, and he just doesn't want to listen to anybody. But he, like, can just BS his way out of every situation, and that's kind of how he's told me, like, you just gotta be nice.
Like my dad literally gave me, like, a full-on lesson, like, what to do when a cop pulls you over. Like, have your hands on the wheel.
Right.
The cop says, yes, officer. Like, don't reach or at all. Just, like, literally have your hands
Announce
the
it.
whole time. Like, it's crazy.
Which
So it's
speaks on the distinction between, like, just
It's scary.
how we're brought
It's
up
scary.
with that, like, the lessons that we're taught, and it's.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna backtrack a little bit to what you were saying about the Capitol. I think that's a clear-cut indication of just the double standard. Like, if anyone who wants to deny that there is racism, and there are a lot of claims against it, and I mean, some of the things people say, it's like, okay, I see where you're coming from, but like when you have clear-cut evidence like this, like, why was it that the people at the Capitol who were doing something much worse than just in their car, whatever, reaching for their wallet
License or registration.
Why is it that literally people destroying an American, like, building of authority are just getting, like, slaps on the wrist?
And, like, they had, like, guns and
Yeah,
were up
they
in the
were
cops' faces, like, screaming with, like, rifles, and the cops are just standing there. Seriously? Like, a Black person will get in a cop's face and they get fucking maced or shot. Like,
Right.
they don't even have to get that close. Like, it's so ridiculous.
And wasn't there, like, I mean, I don't know if I'm wrong. I don't want to put out any, like, false, like, information. But, like, wasn't there, like, an in from a cop to storm the Capitol?
I remember something like that, but I don't know it enough to
Same.
speak on it.
I think I heard something like that, but I don't know if it was true or not.
Oh, well. I mean, regardless, if it was true,
Comment down below.
I'm sure there was,
comment down below.
You know, I'm sure there were cops storming that Capitol.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure
Probably
there were guards that
required
were,
cop-
like, cool.
yeah.
Cops taking selfies and
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there were like
I'm
retired policemen coming there too, and people. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, who let that happen?
All right, we're moving.
And speaking of the Capitol, who else but to be president during that riot? An orange fruit.
And, it's actually a tangerine. I think.
Tangerine. Was it a cutie or a halo?
Cute. No, he's not really cute. I think he's a pretty tall guy. I mean, he's kind of large, actually.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't really. I'd classify him as. I would even go as far as to say he might be.
Okay, if anyone doesn't get it, we're talking about Donald Trump.
He might
Number
be a
45.
But
President 45.
I think he could pass for a mango too. But
Or a peach.
on the impeachment, perfect transition. So let's talk about that. Yeah, you know, we're young and we understand impeachment, but like we really don't, because here's the thing. Impeachment is supposed to be when the people all decide, and the government and whoever's in charge, that the person in power shouldn't really be in power. And it's the process of taking care of that and getting them out of power, or at least reviewing to see if people think otherwise. And we had a whole process of that. And I remember watching it on TV. I was with Bryce, and he seemed pretty outvoted by the end of it. And it was like a pretty clear-cut outcome, I thought, that he was out. And then all of a sudden, a few days later, I find out he's not impeached.
Which is so funny, because it's like, and we're literally jumping right back to the beginning of our conversation about social media. It seems that everyone on social media just really wanted him out of there.
Yeah.
You know? But then it's like...
Everyone on our social media wanted him out of there.
But it's also important to remember that social media isn't the world. I mean, there's still a generation
There's so many people
before us, a couple of generations before, maybe 4 or 5 of them, right? If I'm pulling that number out of my ass, but who knows?
Probably are.
Before us that don't use social media.
Right, which is true.
And that's a big number of people.
Yes.
Probably those people are the ones, you know, who are on his side. But I want to go back to the idea of us not understanding impeachment, and I know we're not the only ones, and it being such a long and
Arduous process.
yes, there we go. That's a nice word.
What was
Arduous
the
process.
word, Brian?
Yeah.
What was the word?
Arduous.
Arduous. Look it up in the dictionary, guys. Because I don't know what it means.
Comment down below
I like
what
it.
that means.
Comment below.
It's got it gives the sentence flavor.
Right.
Yeah.
Some spice.
Back on topic. So it begs the question, are we even a democracy at all? I mean, I thought personally that a democracy was supposed to mean that we decide together as a people. Who is in charge of the country, how the country is run, is determined by the people, for the people, we the people, you know? I mean, like, maybe that's just my juvenile brain speaking right now, but I think it's a bit more complicated than it should be.
No, I mean, and I agree, but I mean, the other thing is that what you have to remember is we are surrounded by like-minded people, and social media is directly put in our faces for us based on everything we've done. Like Axiom, like everything, they take all our information and they throw all these things at us. But there's a whole side we don't see. Like there are people who support him. Like I've gone on Instagram
I know.
just for fun, just to like look up accounts and be like, how many Trump fan accounts do we have? There's millions, like tens, hundreds of millions of people. But like the thing is, when it comes to like the impeachment, when someone is given that much power and they have that much money, I really don't think that many things get settled in a way that we can really understand on the surface. Because there's so much going on behind the scenes.
Which I think is a problem.
But plus,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Don't you need like a certain amount of Republican votes though to even like impeach him?
You do, but he actually had a lot.
Yeah, but I saw a lot more Democratic votes than him. But you need Republicans to vote, which makes it that much harder to get him impeached. You know.
I mean, there are many Republicans who don't support him too. So, and maybe more so now they do. But at first, I remember that. Yeah.
Give us
All
Bush, anybody.
So basically, we don't get it.
Yeah,
Comment down below.
But But you know what?
What's the tea?
I do want to be more involved in politics. You know, as a 22-year-old woman, I think it's really important to be more involved in politics. And I feel like our educational system teaches so much about other things, but it doesn't teach us about
The things that we actually
need to know, like taxes and politics
Well,
and
I think-
things like that. I mean, that's just from my public school education.
I
I
think-
don't know about any other type of education.
I think everybody our age, at least from social media or something, knows a little bit about politics. Whether they even realize it or not, it's what they don't know, and this is the problem. Policy. We need to know what laws are being put into effect. And that's something I have trouble with because I fucking hate reading. You know? And I don't want to sit there and find it, and finding that is difficult, but it's more of like a he said, she said sort of thing.
Right.
And I try to find whatever summaries I can of what exactly is being put into effect and what exactly the statistics of what is happening is. I think everybody, just as a generation, maybe this is a new topic, like our generation and how we respond to this.
Like, I have a desire to learn about it, you know, but I feel like with the whole he said, she said thing, like you said, it's like I don't really know what's true and what's not true. So here I am probably having a conversation about politics to someone else, and they know more than I do, and I'm saying stupid shit that has nothing to do with politics, and I saw that on Twitter. You know, it's like, what does that make me look like? Boo Boo the Fool. I know that for a fact. I don't know.
All I know is like, and this is the way I always describe it because I don't know politics really that well.
Yeah.
All I know is that since Donald Trump became president, I've never seen, in my entire life, I've never seen our nation more divided.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like that,
Yes.
he was the catalyst of conflict.
Mm-hmm.
And like whether it be him or his followers, something happened where we switched.
Right.
And it went polarized.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were not even close to being in like a gray area. It was black and white.
Right.
And it's funny.
And that was Hillary too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing because they are black and white.
Yeah.
Like they are like
Polar opposites.
I still don't understand why Hillary didn't win. I'm still trying to figure that out. I
Scratching
mean,
your head.
like, she should have got every woman vote.
But
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, she wouldn't get every woman Republican vote.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
But to add on to Brian's point, though, I do agree with what you're saying because it felt like 1960s all over again. Like I'm looking at the TV screen. I'm like, wait, what year is this? Like, you see protests, like civil rights all over again. Like it's just.
yeah, but you know what's funny about that? And there's
There's a famous comedian. I don't know if I should name drop him or not.
He's famous.
Let's call him
he's pretty
Bandry.
famous.
I'm kidding.
His name is Akash Singh. If you ever watch this, I'm a huge fan of you in the Flagrant 2 podcast. And Andrew Scholes. But he made this joke about how like Trump kind of did more for black people than Black Lives Matter have done in like however long. And wait, listen, before you come at me.
Before we throw rocks.
Before you pelt me, before you scarlet letter me or whatever that is.
Scarlet letter completely opposite.
Wait, don't they stone her to death because of something she did or something?
Not
All right,
quite.
can we?
Anyway,
We're talking about Scarlet Letter.
wait, Lauren knows she reads books. Where was I? Oh, so basically it was he does more because he is so like blatantly racist, and there are all these things coming up right now and surfacing that have to do with him or what he said or this or that, and now with the Black Lives Matter
he isn't Donald
protest.
Trump, right?
Yeah, he isn't
Okay.
Donald Trump. Like, he's bringing all of this shit to the surface. Like, his people are so aware. It's like he's like the catalyst of like, oh my God, our country is fucked. You know what I mean? And now people are seeing, and that's why I gotta give him credit.
He opened.
Obviously, he didn't do that on purpose, or maybe he did. Maybe he's that smart. Like, who knows?
Let's not say that.
Maybe he's, and this is all theoretical.
Doesn't he have a high IQ?
He does.
I mean,
but-
I'm sure he does.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he made a lot of money, but I mean, maybe he's like, really just a sacrificial lamb or something. Who knows? But you know, whatever. I digress. But I just think that's
No,
funny.
but that is interesting. That is interesting to like put it into that perspective. You know what I mean? Because it's like you wouldn't look at it that way. You would look at him like he's the reason why we're so divided.
yeah.
But if you look at it from a different perspective, it's like I guess you could look at it that way. But
Like now we know how much work we need to do.
exactly.
Well, the fact that we were able to put him in office in general, I mean,
Yeah, like how did that happen? Like that in itself is like, what the fuck?
I remember when he was first running, and
Yeah, go ahead, Nicky.
everybody was laughing.
Yeah, that was a joke. It was a joke.
Yeah.
These nuts could have won.
Yeah. I was like rooting for him. I was like, oh yeah, Troy.
Oh yeah,
Troy,
D's
that's a joke.
nuts. D's nuts. Remember D's nuts ran? Comment down below. Do you remember when D's nuts ran?
Yes.
Yeah.
What house was he?
What party was he?
Green
D's nuts party. Green party.
Green party.
Okay. Anyway, what were we saying?
Yeah. So yeah, joke became reality.
Yikes.
Now we're
Yeah.
here.
Okay, so it's 2021. We've been discussing about the events that happened in 2020 up until now. People are slowly getting vaccinated. The pandemic is slowly dying. Everything's going a little bit,
Close
more
to normal.
close to normal, more on an upscale rather than a downscale. We just want to lastly discuss about something that happened in 2020 that was really major in terms of the pandemic, and it had to do about like the travel restrictions. Bryan, what do you feel about that?
So, something that Bryce brought up earlier was that due to the travel restrictions, many countries where their main source of income was travel are now struggling. And one of them is Zimbabwe. And in Zimbabwe, due to the lack of income and money circulation, people are, hunting wild animals to eat them just to have food, or going to the zoos there and trying to steal animals and set them free so that there's more food, quote unquote.
Yeah.
You can't see that, quote unquote.
A zoo is not
available.
a buffet.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, to me, what particularly annoys me about this is that a country's main revenue should not be travel, because if that's the case, it means that everything else was taken to them, to a point where all they can get are people coming in to look at things that they find beautiful when really people are struggling.
Right.
And this comes down to oppression since the beginning of colonization. They take these countries, they drag them down, pull out all the things that made them them and that they were thriving on.
Yep.
And the way the balance was, and just threw it off entirely, to the point where only people who had money could go there and enjoy what they thought was beautiful.
Right, and I think that has to do with a lot of the selfishness that comes within our country, because it's all we do is take.
Mm-hmm.
But it's even when there is restrictions, it's that doesn't stop us. We're just gonna go because it's nice over there, and it's cold over here. There's a pandemic over here. Let me just go to a different country because it's better. When they don't even know that it's 10 times worse over there, but for their own personal reason. And now, because we have a pandemic, we as humans probably don't even know that we have the virus, and we're bringing it to their country. So now not only are they having a food crisis, but they're also having a virus crisis. You know what I mean? So it's
I'm gonna give a little pushback on what you guys are saying here. So
here we go again.
Always the devil's
Yeah.
advocate.
So here we go.
Go again.
I mean, and no, this hits a little closer to home because, my dad came from an island in Greece called Skathos. Beautiful island. He was born and raised there. He left when he was young because he wanted a better life for himself. He wanted to go to a place that he could actually work and make a living and do something. So, everybody on that island is basically living off of tourist revenue, because that's the life that they've lived all their lives. And anybody who decides to stay on the island or any of these other islands or these beautiful scenic places probably are staying there because they know that they want to make a business from tourism, or just live off the land, and they're okay with that. But the problem with that is, with the pandemic, they're not getting that, and they weren't getting that. So I don't think, at least in that example, it has to do with colonization and it still has to do with the rich, being the only people who can go there. But there are these people who've decided to make a living through tourism, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, personally.
I just can't help but feel that oftentimes we go to a place like that and we think that Puerto Rico, you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
We think it's, luscious beaches. That's what we see. but we don't see everything else. We don't see that they were literally brought into the United States purely for the selfish reasons of the United States wanting what Puerto Rico had, but they were like, oh, we'll just make them part of the United States so we can take what they have without being questioned about it, but we won't give them full citizenship.
Lauren, you have to
That is true.
Well,
Yeah.
this
Like
was-
stuff like that. Like we're not seeing everything
Yeah.
else besides, the places where the tourists go.
Yeah, no, and I agree with that.
And same with Greece. Yeah. Same with Greece.
But like I said, but Greece is different because Greece, like, I don't know. I mean, anywhere you go on the planet, there's gonna be people. What's the word? Trying to suck out the sustenance. You know
I think
what
that was the word he was looking.
Yeah.
Sucking out the
Yeah.
sustenance.
And just the
Hashtag it.
benefits of the land, I guess. I
Comment
don't
down
know.
below.
But I feel like
Sucking out the sustenance.
with Greece, it's not like people came in there and forced them to do it. It was kind of just like everybody was there for years and years and years, and they realized how beautiful their land was, and now they're making a profit off of it because they know that everybody else. That's that Greek pride right there. They know that everyone else wants to come see how beautiful it is.
Lauren, what did you have to say?
I kind of don't remember, but I'm gonna try. So I saw this like today, and it was online, so I'm not sure how accurate anything I'm about to say is, but I saw this thing where right now a lot of people are like romanticizing. I don't want to get too off topic, but I just want to say really quick. People are romanticizing like moving to Hawaii and like, everyone should go to Hawaii and make your life better, whatever. There are a lot of like people who are native to Hawaii that are like, can you stop? Because it's a really small island. There are people that are native to Hawaii and they're the ones that are going to suffer because when overpopulation becomes an issue in Hawaii, they're the ones that are going to become homeless, not the rich tourists that are coming and have all this money and can do whatever they want.
Right.
So I think that it's just the idea that like sometimes we're honestly like exploiting places and taking advantage of like beautiful scenic places for our own whatever, you know what I mean? Like we're not really thinking about like there are people, this is their home, they're from there, like these are their roots and this is their culture, and like you're going and you're ruining it because you want to live near the ocean.
That
like,
wasn't off topic at all. That definitely applies to like
just gave me
Puerto
chills.
Rico. Chills.
Yeah.
No,
that makes
definitely
sense.
about Puerto Rico and Zimbabwe. Like everything that has to do with what you're saying is also implicated towards what we were just talking about. So people just need to butt out. Stay in your lane.
Plant some trees in your backyard, dude.
Yeah, save the earth. You want to
But
know
not the
how
cat.
many? You want to know how many freaking times I've seen the weather go from rainy to like super, super, super hot? I'm over it. Let's talk about population.
Let's
Not
talk about
population. Pollution. Pollution. Climate change. I said population.
Comment down below.
Sylvia Brown. Do y'all know who Sylvia Brown is?
No.
She's like a psychic who wrote a book in 2008
I know who Sylvia Brown
about how she predicted all this happening.
yeah, right.
Until next time, let us know in the comments. Do you know what Sylvia Brown?
What is
Give that woman praise.
population
No,
pollution?
no, but if we're talking about population, COVID took care of that.
No.
All right, so let's end this podcast
Yeah,
before
no,
Nicky
no,
hurts
find
someone's
this.
feelings.
I always hurt people's feelings.
It's very true.
Who is it this
Comment
time?
down below your least favorite member of Crashes.
Even if it's me,
it's just Lauren commenting
Just-
Nicky.
just
I'm trying
know,
to find the page of the book.
there is no crash without me, you fools.
Okay.
And
Alright,
Bryce.
that's
So
why
we're
I
definitely
said-
cutting that
I
out.
know,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's implied.
Yes, I know.
Without me, implication of Bryce. Oh wait,
Yeah, but
wait,
nobody's trying to
wait.
cancel Bryce. I mean,
Mark
read that.
Mark
Read
wanted
that.
me to read this. In around 2020, this is from Sophia Brown, by the way, a
Sylvia
passage
Brown.
from Sylvia Brown's
End
book.
of the world. The book's called
End of the World. The book is called End of the World. Look it up on Amazon, right? Anyway, in around 2020, a severe pneumonia-like illness will spread throughout the globe, attacking the lungs and the bronchial tubes and resisting all known treatments. Almost more baffling than the illness itself will be the fact that it will suddenly vanish as it arrived, attack again 10 years later, and then disappear completely. Oh shit.
attack again
Oh,
10,
man.
10 years
We got
later.
9 years, bro.
Oh shit.
It's not even over.
Oh shit.
Well, okay.
This was written in 2008, people.
You're screaming. It's okay.
It's not screaming, it's passion.
No, but you're right next to the mic.
Oh, but last time I checked, Bryce said it was okay.
It's peak.
Right, Bryce?
All right. No, I mean it was peaking really bad, but it's fine.
You're
whatever.
peaking. You peaked in high school.
Oh!
Let's look more into that. No, I'm kidding. He didn't. He really didn't.
I most
I just wanted to
certainly
jab.
did not. I hated high school. I was fucking. Everyone hated me. I was a loser, and I never want to go back
Let's
there.
go more into that.
Not much has changed, clearly, but at least I get to do what I want to do and not have to study math.
Period.
Yes. Okay.
But I did not peek. Okay.
Alright.
Oh, God.
All right.
So that's
So this has been Crash Cast.
No.
No.
This is Crash Cast.
This was Crash Convos.
Comment
Yes,
down
no,
below.
this is-
Hashtag Crash Cast. Nikki's actually mad.
This is
Still
the
Crash Cast.
crash conversation. This has been the the first official crash conversation. It might be a one-off. We don't know. We'll see what happens.
We'll never know.
We'll catch you guys next time.
Yes.
Keep watching. Keep commenting. Keep liking. Tell everybody. Spread the word. Subscribe if you haven't.
And don't
We
forget to
love
donate
you.
to our GoFundMe page.
Of course, the GoFundMe. That's very important because without the money, we can't make really,
We are
really good stuff.
literally more than halfway from our goal, people. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Wow.
All right. Happy 4th of July, everybody. I hope we didn't ruin it for you.
Yay, America! Yeah!
Happy Independence Day.
Independence!
We have it. Independence.
And I refrain. Stay frosty.
Yay.